Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of my trip to Korea. Yesterday was basically just a giant traveling day, but we made it to the Airbnb, and here is some footage of the Airbnb. It was actually very, very nice. And if you're looking for a cheap way to stay in Korea, Airbnbs are a lot cheaper than the hotels. Although we did get a little warning. When we were there, we ran into a English teacher who was from America, and we ran into him at a cafe that was under our Airbnb. Basically, the Airbnb was part of a residential building, and it was like 70 stories. It was crazy tall. But at the very first floor of this building, there was a cafe, and we ran into him. And he basically told us that Airbnbs are kind of illegal in Korea, so that's why they're so cheap. We didn't run into any issues. We went to 2 Airbnbs. We booked it through Airbnb. But he said just to be careful, because if you ever had a trouble getting into an Airbnb in Korea, you probably wouldn't get much help because they're not supposed to have them. But who knows how true that is? He just mentioned that offhand. But we couldn't really sleep because we were really like jet lagged. So we ended up walking around Seoul at 4 a.m. But it was actually a really cool experience. Seoul was so pretty, and it was crazy how busy the city is. As you can see, there's still a lot of people out given it's 4 a.m. and we're like in the business district of Seoul. So this is not Itaewon where there's partying. This is like where all the businesses are. So it was really cool to see all the lights and stuff. Apparently there's some sort of holiday going on, so that's why all the lanterns were up. But it was so pretty, and it was actually like a little cold. The weather was nice. It was a good change from Florida. So once we officially woke up, we then had to hop on the bus. We were going to get our hanboks, which if you wear hanbok to the palace, you actually get in for free. By the way, the public transit in Korea is so easy. All you need is a T-Money card or a Cashme card, and you just tap it when you enter and you tap it again when you're leaving. And to get around, we use the Naver Map app. It was so helpful because with the Naver app map, it tells you when to get off, when to get on. It tells you the bus times. It was so easy, and you don't need to know any Korean to be able to use the app because it translates it all into English. So again, very easy to use. By the way, Korea has the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen in my life. So I took time to take a bunch of like videos and photos of all the flowers because it was so gorgeous. Everywhere there was amazing flowers. So after the hanbok rental, we did a walking food tour. We did do a pit stop to get a lock. We mentioned to the tour guide that we really wanted to get this lock, and he knew the guy that sells them, so he took us right there, and we ended up getting this fish lock for, I think it was right around like $6 US, which I think that's a really good deal because it's actually made with real brass, and we're able to tell by doing like the magnet test. We also went to the famous Poop Cafe. They serve their coffee in like toilet bowls and stuff. It's really funny, but it was actually so good. And then we saw a bunch of different like traditional restaurants. We tried different traditional food. And then we also did street food, which the street food was my favorite. It was really good. I love tteokbokki. It's like nice and spicy. And the fish cake was really good too. But we went to the traditional market as well, so we got to see meat vendors, fish vendors. We saw more tteokbokki. It's so good. You have to try it if you ever go. And then we walked to this stream, and the whole time the food tour guide, he brings us to food spots, but he also shares a lot of history, so that was really cool too. I wish I was able to record him to share that with you guys, but for privacy reasons I'm just showing what I can. But that's the end.